So many of the teachers that I work with and talk to know the importance of teaching social and emotional skills. I mean, we do it every day. A student gets bumped into in line, so we console them and help them feel a little bit better. Somebody knocks over a block tower during indoor recess, and we help them apologize. Somebody gets stuck on a tricky math problem, and we help them stick through it and figure out what tools they can use and persevere. We're helping them. The part that becomes tricky is we're doing most of the work in those situations. And what we want to do is have the students take on more responsibility and have more strategies under their belt so they can do it independently. And part of Sharing the Blue Crayon is showing teachers how it's not adding something new, it's just approaching it in a different way so that it becomes part of our regular routine. The title Sharing the Blue Crayon is very dear to me because it brings back the memories of Mario, one of my kindergarten students. He was at writing workshop one day, and he had written a story about his big brother's new blue car, and he was very excited about it. In his left hand, he had the blue crayon that he was going to use in a few minutes to color the car. In his right hand, he was holding the black pen that was going to help him write the word brother and the rest of his story. From across the table, Jessica asked if she could borrow the blue crayon for her picture. And in that moment, Mario's body actually shook because he didn't know what to do next. And I saw so clearly that there were two distinct skills. There was the emotional skill of sharing the crayon and trusting that he was going to get this tool back when he needed it. And there was the academic skill of sounding out the word, thinking about what the letters looked like, keeping his story in his mind. He couldn't do both of those at the same time. When I reflected on that situation with a couple of colleagues at the end of the day, I realized I had done a really good job of teaching students how to sound out the words, how to keep their story in mind, practice putting details in their picture. I had not been as specific with the social and emotional skills of sharing and trusting one another. And so the title, Sharing the Blue Crayon, comes directly from watching my students and realizing how much they needed that explicit instruction in the social skills in order to be able to access this academic curriculum. Friendship Workshop is the set of lessons that I developed for my classroom to give strong anchored meetings about social skills. Let's say for perseverance. If I want my students to be able to stick through tough math problems, or when they're stuck on their poetry, to not give up and keep trying new words and new ways to write it, then the Friendship Workshop lesson might be about watching a video where students can see somebody who has persevered. I also write in the book about how we use the monkey bars as an example of trying to get across the monkey bars. Doesn't happen in one day. It takes us a couple of days, it might take us a couple of weeks, it might take some of us all year to be able to build up that strength. But as we watch and realize that each day that we practice something, we get a little stronger, that we're getting closer to our goal, we also get to watch somebody gain strength and accomplish their goal, and we can feel good for them at the same time. So by using those Friendship Workshop lessons and then applying it to the academics of writing or math, and then having the students know, okay, I can do this. I remember we talked about it in Friendship Workshop. I remember writing about it, drawing pictures for it. I can use it in this instance too, and it raises the level of academics in the classroom. In my book, I write about 8 social and emotional skills, and there are certainly more out there. And some years there are skills that I really focus on for a particular group, and other years maybe not so much. But I think 2 of the more important ones are empathy and giving and getting feedback. Empathy, we know, is basically understanding someone else's point of view, being in their shoes. And for our students, it's that sense of safety. If I'm having a bad day and something has happened, I can come in to my classroom and know that I'll be accepted even though it's a tough day for me. On the flip side, if I see a classmate struggling and having a tough day, I can offer that extra support, and that allows them to feel safe as well. And if I know I'm in a community, in a classroom that is safe and caring, I'm able to take those risks and push myself a little farther in my learning, so I'm actually feeling more supported both socially and academically. I think giving and getting feedback is so important because it allows us to realize that one of the first pieces of feedback we get is the talk that we give ourselves. We call it self-talk. And when students are saying, I can't do this, this is too hard, I'll never get it. We help them change that to, I can't do this yet, or I don't know how to get this started, can you help me? And if we can change that first self-talk and reflection, then they're going to be more successful at trying new things. When they hear feedback from another person, they can then also help themselves by saying, okay, I maybe don't agree with all of it, but you're right, I probably didn't put in enough description in my writing. But being able to have a respectful dialogue back and forth with that feedback is going to increase science talk, it's going to increase math strategies, and it allows all of us to work together solving any problem.